I think the debate is redundant. Who's the best player ever, Messi or Ronaldo? I mean, they're both absolutely amazing. And the fact that we did get to experience them throughout one generation makes us extremely lucky. It's like the Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's right. Simon Bordeaux here. Thank you for joining me as always. And yes, I've already gone back on my promise from yesterday saying it was only going to be one bit of football content a week. However, crazy stuff happened overnight, and I thought, you know what? I've already got a fitness video up for the Monday. You can see it right now. We talk about The Rock and his training and how he got in superhero shape. Why not just do some supplementary content at 9 p.m. here in the UK? Simply because, one, I wanted to talk about it, but also, two, I'm trying to get my YouTube channel back up and running. So I thought, screw it. We'll go content crazy. So, if you are a football fan, you already know the deal. You've been reading about it all day. Overnight, Piers Morgan revealed that he has got an interview with Cristiano Ronaldo going up on Tuesday and Wednesday on his program. I think it's called Piers Morgan Unleashed, which is a silly name for anything. It's like a wrestling pay-per-view. And I've got a list here. I'm just going to read you the headlines in case you don't know. So, Ronaldo has said that people at the club, Manchester United, were trying to force him out. There had been no evolution at the club since Sir Alex Ferguson's departure in 2013. The club showed a lack of empathy when his young daughter was hospitalised in July. He'd never heard of previous manager Ralf Rangnick. And this one I'll say tongue-in-cheek because I've heard this quote and he does laugh when he says it. When asked about former teammate Wayne Rooney criticising him, he added, it's probably because he finished his career and I'm still playing, and also said that he's older than him and he looks better than him. But again, I think there probably are buddies, and I think that one was probably a bit hee-hee, tee-hee, ha-ha, funny. So this all obviously then turns into a Piers Morgan news show or news, whatever you want to call it. There's just a bunch of tidbits that he has used and he has extrapolated and he's put on internet and website, including this article where he said that Cristiano should go to Arsenal. We'll talk about that in just 1 second. Because, of course, you're going to be saying, well, Simon, what's your opinion on Ronaldo saying this stuff? We're never going to know the truth is the real problem. So, for example, let's just say, for the sake of argument, that all that stuff that Ronaldo said about them not taking his kids' health seriously is true. That's going to piss anybody off. And I have empathy for that. I have sympathy for that. Well, sympathy, I should say. I totally understand where you would be coming from. But if we just move that to one side for a second and we look at it as a overall interview that Manchester United have said has surprised them greatly, I never think this is good. I just don't. It's an old cliche, but it's true. No player can be bigger than the club. The manager has to have, you know, a certain amount of discipline and structure running through the club. Otherwise, you're never going to win anything. Hence why Alex Ferguson was so good. You wouldn't say boo to a goose. Roy Keane said boo to him. Alex Ferguson, all right, I'll sell you. And he did. And he did that time and time again. He was never worried about that stuff. So I just don't think it's very good. It's not a good look for Cristiano Ronaldo. It's not a look good for Manchester United. The Manchester United fans that I've talked to, which again is a very small sample, like 3-4 of my friends, have all said that they're with the club and they think Ronaldo needs to go and this is terrible timing and it's not right before the World Cup after they had that win against Fulham yesterday, I believe, when they scored in like the 98th minute. Can't remember that young buck that they've got. It's like Granaraucho or something. Man, guy's going to be really, really good. So I don't think this is good for anybody. And I don't think it's good for Manchester United. And I would imagine that's it for Cristiano Ronaldo now too. I would guess that he leaves in January. Where the hell he goes, I don't know. But he'll get whacked from the World Cup. And if he has ever any kind of affiliation with Manchester United again, I will be truly baffled. Because this is clearly a, you know, I want to leave kind of a thing. So, of course, Piers Morgan then writes that article saying, well, if Cristiano is going to lead in January, he should go to Arsenal. That's what Arsenal needed in the last 6 months in order to win the Premier League title. And I'm just here to say that's a bunch of BS, in my humble opinion. Now, I'm not going to get into all the other stuff when it comes to Piers Morgan. That's a video on itself. We'll keep it within the context that as it's been presented. I do find it somewhat tough. Tough's not right, because football, who cares, right? It's important, but it's not important at the same time. I do find it annoying when he spends a good season, maybe even 2 seasons, going, oh, Mikel Arteta needs to leave. Mikel Arteta is terrible. And then all of a sudden we start winning. He's like, oh, Mikel Arteta is great. And he has talked about this and defended himself and saying, well, at the time, I did think it was terrible. But that's not how it works. Because Mikel Arteta the whole time was going, yeah, but trust the process. I'll get you there. I'll get you there. If Piers Morgan had then gone, okay, fair enough, hold my hands up. Not a massive fan right now, but I support you. I would totally get it, but he didn't. He said fire him. You can go all on Twitter. Go fire him. And now that he didn't fire him, and we did trust the process, now all of a sudden we're in first place. And my worry would be, not even a worry, who cares? But my thought process would be, if we get to the end of the year and we finish 5th, which means we have, I'm an Arsenal fan in case you haven't seen the other video, and we have fallen away. That is on us, and we do have to hold our hands up, but I bet he would be the first person to go, oh, get rid of him. And that is not how it works. And it's also why you don't want Ronaldo, well, I don't want Ronaldo coming to Arsenal. Now, look, I think we need to say, is he one of the best players ever? Yes. In the Messi-Ronaldo debate, I kind of lean towards a little bit towards Ronaldo, just because I feel like Messi was a more talented player in terms of gifted talents, whereas Ronaldo was just like, I'm going to work my ass off. And I suppose that I could relate to that a little bit. Not that I'm the world's greatest football player, but that kind of mentality, that kind of mindset. But I think the debate is redundant. Who's the best player ever, Messi or Ronaldo? I mean, they're both absolutely amazing. And the fact that we did get to experience them throughout one generation makes us extremely lucky. It's like the Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. That's right. I'm always going to make wrestling analogies. But the best thing that Mikel Arteta did was get rid of Aubameyang. It just is. It just was. I don't know what the issues there were, but manager fell out with player fell out with manager. So the manager was like, I need to make sure the rest of the squad knows, doesn't matter how big a star you are, doesn't matter how important you may or may not be to the team, if you don't follow my rules, or if you irk me, especially after I've sat you down, key part, if you've been sat down and told stop irking me and you still do it, you have to ensure that you are the leader of the club. You are the sailor of the ship, the captain of the ship. Otherwise, it's just going to be chaos. I'm going to make another wrestling analogy. WCW, World Championship Wrestling, died because the inmates were in charge of the asylum. They didn't have a manager. They didn't have a head honcho who was steering this down the correct pathway. And that's what will happen at a football club. And it's happened at many a football club. So as soon as Aubameyang, and look, I loved Aubameyang. I thought he was awesome. He was a great striker for a good few years. He was our best player. And without his goals, who the hell knows where we would have been. And yes, I agree with Martin Keown's point to a certain extent too. If we had kept him last year for those 6 months and they'd been able to work it out before they sold him, maybe we would have gone in the Champions League. I ain't worrying about that. That's a year ago now. I'm talking about the proof is in the pudding. And this pudding has been delivered to me. And Mikel Arteta got rid of Aubameyang and everything has worked out because he's went and got out players that have the right attitude, the right personality, the right character, and who work their ass off. And I don't think Ronaldo is that anymore. Obviously, his work ethic is second to none. And you cannot argue about his accomplishments. They are terrific. They are incredible. And he's done it in league after league after league after league. But if you put that ego and you put that arrogance into a dressing room when there is stability and there is friendship, all it's going to take is one little crack and all of a sudden the whole thing is going to fall down. Now, I'm not arguing that Cristiano Ronaldo wouldn't come in and score. You know, I think in the right kind of environment, he probably could get sort of 10 goals plus. But Arsenal don't need goals right now. What are they? Some of the Arsenal aren't lacking goals. If you sat down and you actually went through their problems or their potential problems, maybe they do need a bit of a tighter defence, or maybe they do need to support in sort of the defensive midfielder range, or maybe they just do need a better squad overall, which is why we keep getting linked to midfielders in January, because that's always a good way to kind of beef up your squad. So if someone does get injured, you can bring somebody else in. So I think putting Ronaldo in that team with the ethos that Mikel Arteta has built up would be the worst possible thing you can do. In fact, you should be going the other way. You should be looking for less egos and less superstars, because I think that's the coolest thing about all the players that Arteta brought in. Gabriel Jesus. I mean, look, he's an amazing player, but he wasn't one of those Man City superstar players. Now, you could argue it's because they have crazy superstars, but it's not the point. He's just a workhorse, which is why he's so good. The same with someone like Ben White. When Ben White came in, he was like an upcoming English defender, but nobody was waving the flag as if he was the new Rio Ferdinand or the new John Terry, etc. He was just like, oh, there's something here, and then we've nurtured it. And you can do that across the board. Take someone like Saka, who of course came through the youth system. That dude is just pure, man. Sounds so stupid, but he is. Just wants to play football, and there's nothing else to it. And you can argue maybe because he had to go through that humbling experience at the World Cup where he missed the penalty and all that fallout and what people did, which I'm still not over because it's the worst thing ever. But that is going to build strength of character, and that's going to build... or it's just going to build something in your personality that's hard to crack. It makes you stronger, and it probably makes you understand football and life a little bit better, because you have to go through those hard times to understand the good times, and then you appreciate them more. So they are the type of people you want to be putting into the locker room. You don't want to go out and get a Ronaldo or a Neymar. I'd even put Messi in there because he brings so much hoopla to it, but Messi always seems to be kind of neutral, doesn't he? He's never too happy, he's never too sad, apart from when he leaves Barcelona and he cries his eyes out. So yeah, that's just my 2 cents on the matter. I do not want Cristiano Ronaldo to come to Arsenal. I don't think it would be good. I don't think it would help. I actually think it would be a hindrance, and that's nothing on Ronaldo. He's one of the best players ever. You can't take that away from him, and I bet wherever he does end up, he'll score a barrage of goals anyway, because he'll now have a bee in his bonnet. But you put that kind of thing into a dressing room like Arsenal right now, I just think it'd be a bad idea. I do. I don't think it would work, and I think ultimately we should just stay away from that, and we should continue on with the ethos that we've already introduced. So Piers Morgan does this a lot. Piers Morgan basically says whatever he thinks is going to get the most engagement and the most reaction. I'm not a massive fan of his, but I don't know him. At the same time, I always want to make that clear. Like, I don't watch his program or anything like that, and I don't necessarily agree with the way that he approaches things, but I don't know him. I've never met him. I'm just literally going on the way that he broadcasts his opinions is certainly not for me, and there's other issues as well, of course, which are more than troubling, but I want to try and keep this football focused because that's the whole point. Also the name of the BBC show, so that works too. So that's just another rant about football in case you're interested about what we're going to do going forward. I think this Sunday I will make a video about what I would have my first 11 of England's World Cup match to be, because the World Cup's going to start on Friday, so why the hell not? And then I'll try and do reactions after each of the England games, and then when we get back into the Arsenal stuff, we'll just chat every time Arsenal have a game, because why the hell not? I like talking about football. It's nice to have a platform to talk about football, and people were very kind yesterday, which I do massively appreciate, so we can just see how it goes. Otherwise, please do like the video, share the video, and subscribe to the bell ding dings so not the videos going live. Notification crew, appreciate you. There will be a video on the screen. It may be a football one, crazy. Make sure you give it a click. Otherwise, to tie into my other stuff that I do if you are into the gym and lifting weights and you want some supplements that I recommend, you can go to grillermind.com/Simon. You just go to Simon to get 10% off. These are very, very good things. You can also buy my Fitness Palace of Love t-shirt in conjunction with Samson Athletics. There is a link in the description below. These are top tier tees. Very happy to be in business with them. Come give me a follow and tell me you hate me now because I'm an Arsenal fan at Simon316 and Simon316 on Instagram and Twitter. Patreon.com/Simon316 if you want to support me that way. Cameo, if now you want to talk about football, we could do that too. I mean, we could do that anyway. I'm just trying to tie it all in. You take care. Good luck, England. Idiot. Goodbye.